Hey guys, Chris here, and just today I'm going to be planning an illustration and wanted to take you guys through that. I've been having some streaming problems here today, but we'll see if we can make it through and just do a little draw juice here. Let's see. Looks like it's working. So before we get started, just wanted you to know you could head over to drawjuice.com, where I have a few portrait drawing courses. I've got a book, and it's a great place to go if you want to learn drawing, learn portrait drawing, or study with me. I have a mentorship, VIP, or just the boot camp, and that's all good stuff. You can learn my 7-step portrait drawing system called Scaffold, and it's got 7 modules, and I teach you the basics just like in art university, only more concise, more contained, stuff you don't learn in school. So you can get on the waiting list too, or just get on the newsletter. Just sign up and I'll let you know when I go live, when I have sales and other exclusive content. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to know about that. So now you can also join the Discord, because I've got this awesome new Discord. We're moving off of Facebook. I want to get away from Facebook, and so I set up a really cool Discord server, and link will be in the description. Okay, and just come on over and be part of a healthy, balanced community of artists who are wanting to draw, wanting to paint and learn. And it's good energy, good vibe. So as far as this illustration planning, this regimen increases, this workflow increases my efficiency and my output. And I learned this, many years as a professional illustrator. And so, I just thought I would share it with you because it's important, good stuff. It's fun stuff for painters, drawers, illustrators. And so, for planning an illustration, like step 1, see, I'm gonna adjust my window here so I can see it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is thumbnails. I don't like doing thumbnails, but they're absolutely necessary. Just communicating bare bones information, right? So that I know what the subject matter is and where it's going to be in the format, in the frame. And so after thumbnails, I'm going to go to black and white comps. So these are like quick, simple compositions, so I know the aspect ratio that I'm working in, and this is going to set up my tonal structure. And tone and value is great for setting up depth and form, and the graphic breakup of the darks and lights on the page. So it's all about the read and the big picture. So the big picture never lies, right? The overall impression. So we're trying to go for that. Okay, it's psychological, it's a feeling thing, and it's sort of about detail, psychological detail more than, and recognition more than a surface detail. And then after those black and white comps, I will go to the color comps, And those are going to be very simple color harmonies that, just shapes. Just like the black and white comps, they're going to be really shape based. No detail. Over here, shapes. And so I can just figure out where the colors are going to go in the background, the foreground, the figure ground relationship. And then from there, I will move to the final. Right, so there I will start on the final. Okay, so this is my workflow that works professionally, efficiently. This is how the pros do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just start sketching using line. You can use value too, or value for my, oops, I'm in the wrong thing here. For my thumbnails, I can use value or line. Just get the big information in. Okay, so I think I was on the wrong layer here. Okay. Let's just zoom in and start scratching around. See what comes up. Okay, and I'm in Art Rage, by the way. So Art Rage has a new version called Art Rage Vitae. Art Rage Vitae. And so that's what I'm going to use for this project. Keeping it really pixelated and just really blocky and low resolution. Right? I don't need lots of information at this point. I just kind of need big shapes, big positions. Maybe get the attitude, the gaze. Okay, now this is on the wrong layer. I wanted to do that on a different layer, so let's just go back. Get out of that. Trying to keep that little frame so I can keep working into it. Alright, so here we are again. We kind of have, face, neck, maybe the gaze is this way, looking up slightly. And then I want hair to be just really impressionistic in this. Bigger. Okay, let's do another one. Trying to figure out this interface and exactly how to use it. So this is kind of the fun phase. Should be kind of fun, should be kind of quick. Let's try a different tool here. Let's see if the pencil works. Ooh, that looks kind of too soft. Alright, let's just go back to this one. So I kind of want to create like an angle like this between the head, you know, the tilt of the head and the body going the other way. Again, these are just really loose. They're for me, so I know what's going on. They're not for the client. And this is an actual illustration that I'm planning for, by the way. It's going to be in print. Can't say what it is just yet. Hey David, how are you? What's happening? The idea is just to keep it moving, keep the ideas going, and do a lot. And that way you can kind of get past the surface layer of what your mind is giving you. You know, you want to get down into the subconscious so you get the bad ideas out of the way. Everything's fantastic, eh, David? Taking a short break, painting an oil portrait. Awesome. That's so fun. Right. I'll bet. Let's see here. Way too small. See, the advantage of doing the thumbnails is that you can fix your mistakes. Like, so easy, so fast. And believe me, in art, that is huge. If you can spot your mistakes before you're halfway into the painting, you know, you're really going to be less frustrated and be less angry at yourself. If you take it and break it down into these kind of smaller steps, believe me, I've struggled in professional situations, like trying to figure out and solve problems like color, composition, you know, even anatomy things on a deadline. And, you know, it's just a lot harder. But if you can get used to doing crappy little drawings, because, you know, if you're like me, you don't want to do crappy drawings. You're kind of thinking everything I have to do is just got to be wonderful and beautiful. But it doesn't. This is like the thinking part of art. And you're just solving problems. Hey, buonanotte, Alex. Alex Lima, what's happening? How are you? Where are you from that you're talking to me like that? It sounds Italian. So, crappy little drawings, get your ego out of the way, do crap, because it's about thinking. This part is not about beautiful drawings. Okay? Does that make sense? So I don't know where this is going to end up today. You know, it's kind of like I'm just going to go as far as I can and not try to jump into the next step in the process, because that's just going to short circuit it, you know. I just want to be doing my ideas, let them flow. You know, I can figure out the positioning of the hand, fingers, the gaze, level of, you know, the basic shapes. And that's very good stuff. Essential. You know, I'm thinking this is going to be a bust or a close-up, so I don't need to go like this below the rib cage. So that's kind of something I don't want to waste my time on, right? Hey, Stephen Pino, how are you? Good to see you out there. What's happening? Let me know where you guys are from. I'm kind of new with this art rage, so it feels like a new house, a new room, a new situation, you know? Things aren't exactly where you expect them to be, and it's a struggle, a little bit of a struggle, you know? The more fun part, I'm looking forward to the color part, the color phase, because I'm thinking I'm gonna really be a lot more efficient, and I'm looking forward to that, because color, you know, I kind of just have a vague idea and I jump in, and then that's a struggle. That becomes another struggle, like what colors to use and how much and how to resolve all that stuff. So I'm thinking I have a strategy and a plan for that. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. These are kind of like flower kind of things. But I want to kind of keep it abstract as well. You're viewing all the way from Durham, UK. Wow, Stephen. From UK, baby. The UK is our brothers and sisters. We're all in this together. How's it going over there? I know things are not, you know, normal as we'd like them to be. See, if I do it this way, I can know exactly where I want to cut things off. You know, do I want to have space right here between the shoulder and the edge of the format? Or do I want to, you know, have it tighter, right? And make things a little bit bigger. can solve that problem. Muito bom, muito bom. Alex, I don't know what that is. These drawings are so awkward. It's like, you know, it's 72 pixels. And so it's getting really chunky and blocky, right? That's good. I don't want the temptation of going in there and drawing anatomy and lips and getting stuck. These are supposed to be fast. And that's the biggest thing that gets me stuck in the thumbnail phase, is too much information and then noodling all that stuff to draw the correct kind of eye and the correct kind of lips, and that's what kills the thumbnail process, is like too much of that. Okay, so my hand is doing things that I do on Photoshop on the keyboard, right? And it's there's different commands and different keys for art rage, so it's still a little bit awkward. Steven says things are slowly getting back to normal. Some kind of normal. How's things on your side? Yeah, things are, I don't know. You know, we've got these like mandates for taking the vaccine. And so like other places, there's this sort of mounting kind of opposition to that, where people are getting, you know, they're getting pushed into a corner, and so they're starting to understand what this is about and what's at stake, and so that's causing some, you know, it feels kind of chaotic, kind of destabilizing. I suppose if I don't watch any media, I would feel a lot better, you know? Because the media seems like, you know, such like a psyop. Now it's like I don't trust it. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of like that. That looks kind of good. It has some emotional quality to it, just in the gesture of the head and the neck, seems to me. And it's a little bit more close up. Maybe that's what I need, just more close up. Let's try that same one with a down gaze. Stop watching the news, Stephen. Not sure what's the truth or what to believe. Right, exactly. It's the media is just so not trustworthy, pretty corrupt, you know. They haven't been honest. You know, when I start thinking about this stuff, it's kind of like, you know, when I think too much about it, it's like it's kind of like the end times, you know. And you start to think, oh my gosh, is this what's really happening? It's hard to look at it, you know, and really think about all this stuff because it doesn't make any sense, a lot of it. And there's a great deal of power and control happening, in my opinion. been having these dreams, you know. It's like the other night I had the most strong impression of a dream, and it was like God was talking to me in the dream, which rarely ever happens. And you know, you're in the dream, you're in kind of a virtual space, and it seems real, you know, and these things happen in the dream. And then when you wake up, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, like that was so real. And you're kind of left wondering, right? Was that a message? But it was so clear, I felt like it was, and it just really, really touched me, but it was really positive. It was just so hopeful and positive that now it was hard to keep the emotions in check, you know. And so I felt hopeful. All these things. Let me see if I can I don't know if I can select all these things. I think I just have to merge the layers down. Let's just see. Merge layer down. Okay, now I'm gonna move. No. There. It's a little bit weird moving in Art Rage. There's a little bit of a delay here. Okay. These are in Art Rage, and I'm working on a project here that I cannot say what it is, but it's for a client. Let's see. So yeah, Art Rage, and I kind of gave up at the top of the stream. I gave my workflow, which was this, planning and illustration. So the basic steps of my workflow are thumbnails and you know, that's just bare bones information, just communicating to me placement of stuff. You can do it in line and you can do it in value, but I'm going to do it in line and then bring the value in the next step, which is the black and white comps. That's number one. Number two, and that's the read, the big picture, the shapes, like the graphic breakup of the shapes on the page. So it's really compositional and impressionistic, you know. Shapes, basically value shapes. Okay, black and white and gray. Black, white, and gray. Keeping everything simple and manageable, because it can easily get out of control with too much detail, and then I'm not really solving the problems that I want to. I'm stepping ahead and solving other problems don't need to be solved at that point. And then I go to the color comps, and then step 4 is kind of like a final. So you could say it's a 4-step planning type thing. A lot of people don't know how to plan or start an illustration. It can be very it can be very intimidating. So people just start jumping in and drawing details and like just get locked into something. And so we don't want to do that exactly. I mean, it's fun, you know, to just jump in. Absolutely. And there's a time and place for just jumping in, you know, but when you have a client, then sort of like you gotta figure out what they want, right? And communicate to them, because they can't do it. They can't solve these problems. That's why they hire you. And to kind of think for them, you know, visually. And again, like if something isn't right, you know, like if I wanted the tilt like this, I kind of missed it, right? So it's easy, no problem. Just come in, you know, erase it, and start again. No big deal, right? And get that tilt information in there sooner, right? Fix those mistakes sooner. Let's see, I'm just gonna go bigger. I want bigger. That gives me the tilt. You know, I'm looking underneath so I can see the nose is like a wedge, and I can see the underplane. And then I've got like a trapezoid for the mouth. It's really simple stuff, like a trapezoid, like that. The lips can often be like that, with one little lower lip, you know. And then the ear will be a little bit lower because we're underneath. Right, like getting caught up in eyelashes, eyebrows. You know, it's a mistake. Like I want to do it because I want to correct the drawing. So it's really a lot of discipline for us to stay out of that and just stay in the appropriate phase of the workflow process. And kind of, you know, here is you're editing out detail information so you can highlight compositional information and shape information, and you know, not getting the two mixed up, because that's when you become inefficient, slow down, and you kind of miss the point. Kind of like that one, but you know, I want to change the gaze. I want to change the gaze a little bit to maybe a little bit more 3/4. Hello, Isaac Sade, Isaac Sade. How do you say that name? All right, this time I'll try a triangle head. and see if I can put the ear a little bit lower. And then get that center line more where I want it, vertically. And then see if that kind of... So I've got a tilt, but then I have a twist in the head too, and it's twisting more towards the right this time, instead of looking straight at us. So these little drawings are just these, like, for placement only, you know. It's like spacing and placing the elements. And I can see like the figure ground relationship. So if this is the background is the ground, and this stuff in here is the figure, then I can see how much space is around the figure. And do I like that? You know, this stuff. Do I want more space on the left side than the right side, or less space? Right? So it's sort of solving those problems, right? And then what kind of shapes am I using? Am I using boxy shapes, or round shapes, or triangular shapes, or a combination of, right? So that's sort of that. What I'm after here. Like the angle of the shoulders. Maybe it looks better if they're a little bit tilted with some attitude, not right on the, oops, reset the canvas. How do I do it? Oh. Get it to 0. Okay, let's go. Let's go a little bit bigger. With that face. got to get in here now and just do a little bit with the eye, because I need that. I'm kind of close enough in where I need some of that information, like where she's looking. Is she looking at the camera or looking down to the right? What's the deal? That's probably the biggest one so far. Hey Mauricio Villarreal, love your content. I have learned a lot with your videos. Thank you, Mauricio. Really appreciate that. That makes my day. That's the reason why I do this, is to help you guys out there. Let you know what I've struggled with, what I've learned through many years of being a professional artist out there, working in games and TV, illustrations, and animation. I was doing animation for many years too. That's a whole nother beast. Animation's cool though. Animation is what made me learn to draw fast. Because as an illustrator, I was drawing, planning, for paintings, planning for paintings. And you just, you could copy something, you could project it onto the wall, onto your canvas, onto your illustration board, and then just start painting, because that's what you really have to do is paint it. So the focus wasn't so much on drawing, but when you animate, and you animate every day, and you're drawing every day, this was 2D animation, you get really good at drawing. So I'm really thankful for that. And it gets you loose, but it also gets you kind of like loose and accurate. And then it also helps you visualize things. Like, you got to draw fast, and you have to draw things moving in space, and you have to kind of, do it out of your head. Of course, you have model sheets and model packs, but you have to make those props and characters move through space. So, drawing a box and being able to, make it somewhere in space, and then being able to like bend it and in perspective, like really extreme, foreshortening, let's say. And you you get the hang of your basic primitives, and you can draw them at any angle, at any size, right? And you can do it quickly, and you can iterate that way. You can just go through ideas, or you can get enough drawings and pencil mileage in to make something move across the page, which is magic, you know. So everything is a ball box or a tube, you know, so you can add to this box, and you know, you can make it a face. Just by adding some simple things to it. And that becomes very useful, because it's a lot easier to draw a box in space than it is to think about anatomy. And I mean, that gets real complex really fast. Right, so if I had an extreme pose I had to do with a character looking down, which I'm not used to seeing characters like that, it's easier to go in with a box and then put a character's face in it. You know, you could do it looking down, you could do it from looking up, and then kind of round it off, you know, cut off the stuff that you don't need, right? And then you kind of can handle things that you really don't think you could, using simple primitive shapes and that kind of stuff. Oops. So I don't know, I'm looking at these. Let's take a look. Hey. All right, so what do we have here? We got 5 and 3. We got 15. 15. Okay. I kind of like, let's do a little break and do a little reward, right? Let's just say, what did I do good here? These aren't great drawings. They're not supposed to be, but from a compositional lens, a shape lens, a gesture lens, you know, this is the part where I just kind of turn off and I turn on my actually I turn off my mind and I just go with the gut, and it's like a thumbs up or thumbs down, right? It's really like, you know what you like and what you don't. Like this one, it's not doing it for me. Just scan through and kind of, I mean, I kind of like this one because it's like I like that angle, the gesture, the diagonal that cuts through. I like this one. It seems kind of, it's got some emotion going to it. I like this one because the shapes are interesting. There's kind of like big, small, and medium shapes, or wide, narrow, and wide again. I kind of like this one too. I don't know why. It sucks as a drawing, but the way the head is tilted back and then it's framed with this almost geometric thing that breaks out of the top of the frame. I like this one, but these two are similar. These two. This one's just a little more close up. This one I sort of like. This one I like. And this one I like too, but the head is looking, the gaze is like straight at us, you know? But I kind of like these round shapes in this hair area, and then the shape of the body that counters that. So you have kind of like this against this. So that's my thumbnail phase. You know, I would probably do more, like, you know, 15 to 30 is good. And I know it maybe it seems like a waste of time, but it will make up time for you later in the process when you're really struggling with, let's say, color or rendering or, really finishing off a painting, you'll be glad that you solved these problems beforehand. That is my 2 cents. So let's see, how long have we been going here? Let me see. I don't even know. Let me check. Hour. We've been going for about an hour. All right. I think I'm getting a little like I need to take a break. Oops. What's going on here? I don't know what that is. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be back in like 5 or 10 minutes. Back in 10 minutes. Okay. All right, I'm back. Maybe we'll do a little bit more on this. We'll go into the next phase of my workflow, which is black and white. And just kind of pick one. And then play with that. So, you know, I'd pick one of these and then do some variations on it, like dark background, light figure, dark figure, light background, and stuff like that. So let's see. Now here's the part where I'm not so familiar with Art Rage that I'm going to be able to do some simple stuff like I can with Photoshop. Like copy and paste. Let's just see if it's intuitive here. All right, let's turn this off. Hey, it worked. One thing I need. No, not that. Okay, this thing is, still don't know exactly how to deselect easily. Okay, let's do one more. Okay. I don't know why they have that dialog box come up like that. It kind of obscures the screen there. Okay. So now I'm just going to come through and play with some stuff here. All right, keeping it really simple. Let me check that chat again. Okay. Hey, Eli Behar, good night. You take it easy too. Thanks for coming by. All right, so I'm just going to keep in my color block all the way down at the bottom the values from dark on the left to white on the right. I'm just going to kind of say, all right, I want a black background. So I'm just going to do it. This is my second step in my workflow, which is the black and white comp stage. And the more simple and the more flat I keep it, the more clear it's going to be. And this is where we get into the psychological part of it, because it has to be, you know, pleasing compositionally, and it has to be a good read. It doesn't have to be anything in specific. It could just be clear, abstract shapes, or circles and squares and triangles. Okay. The meaning, you can infuse meaning into it later, or put, you know, push content into those shapes later. But I'm just saying, although we do have a woman here, it doesn't have to be specific. You could be doing this with abstract shapes. Okay. So now let's go to kind of a medium middle value and put that in there. And I wonder if we left her hair white and then made her face middle. Okay, so let's try that. We'll make it kind of a skin tone. Trying to get away with the bare minimum. Right, so this would like be a local value of her skin. And then the hair is going to be white. Ooh, that is white. So it becomes value shapes, like the shape of the hair, the shape of the face, the shape of the neck, you know, torso, the shape of the abstract shapes behind, you know. Right, just keep the edges really crisp for now. You know, don't mess around with edges and stuff. It's not the right time for that. And I'm thinking I want to take this out of here. You know, I was thinking that could be like a hand or something like that, but let's take it out. Okay, there's one. Let's do another one. Let's make, you know, just for fun, let's make her medium dark. Let's see. I love Art Rage's ability to mimic traditional art. Like the brush engine is pretty cool for that. Looks like impasto, wet, medium. Okay, so she's dark. Let's make her hair dark. So we have dark against light. So she'll probably have that separation because of the local color of the hair and the eyes. Maybe some shadow information. But alright, so that's that. Then we can make the background. Well, we can make this part light or middle. And the background could be white. We don't know, we're just trying. You kind of know right away if it works, you know. It's kind of cool though, I like it. Just thinking of the silhouette here. I can break it up just a little bit. All right, what do we got? So these are really rough. You could do them, you know, a little bit tighter, just in terms of how clean the shapes are, if you want, or you can do them loose like this. And you get a pretty stark read. You get a 1, 2, 3 read. And that's good. That's good enough. then you could introduce a fourth value in there just to kind of frame her and frame the hair, actually, because there wasn't enough separation between the background and the hair. You could do this with, Sharpies, Copic markers. You could do this with gouache. You could do this with pencil. Just this very basic information in terms of value and shape, and you can see the design a little bit better than you could with the line. I just love how efficient it is and how simple it is and how it tells me where I can tweak the shapes. If I want the back of the head to be bigger or narrower or a little taller here or there. And then later on in the process, if I'm in the middle of the painting, I won't be thinking, why does this painting suck? Why do I keep struggling with the individual hairs and the reflections and rendering hair and how the hair meets the skin and that transition, when it's not about that at all. It's about something else, more basic to the the composition and the graphic shapes. And it was way back in the beginning, And so I kind of, I like this a little bit better now. If I put a shape back here, what does it do? Is it a thumbs up? Is it a thumbs down? With the silhouette, do I want to see, break the silhouette? Do I want to see some shoulders, some hand? Or do I want to see a straight line? Like in this one, you do a straight line like that. Is that better? I could put some little accents here and there. And if I wanted to, I could kind of come in and just do a little suggestion. Really rough. Super rough. Right, get a little sense of the attitude and the pose and where the. Remember, it's just a suggestion, just a little value thrown in. Put a human face on it. Right, a little sense of where the gaze is, looking at the camera, looking at us, And that's kind of all I need, this one could be looking in a different direction. And, maybe I could suggest that. Smaller mouth on this one. Right, but the gaze could be off to the right. Or kind of a wistful, if I could just control this thing. Right, it's really fun to work in this way because you're doing minimal amounts, but you're getting a lot out of it. A big bang for that minimal amount, in my opinion. And anything you can do to speed up the process, is good. You can start working into it a little bit, and just suggesting things without going into lots of detail and, wasting your time. Don't worry about if it's a great drawing, just kind of look at the graphic, the silhouettes, the shapes. Are they good shapes? Are they somewhat characteristic of your subject matter? You can do the hard work of rendering and anatomy, perspective a little bit later in the process. And so, those are my 3 little thumbnails for this. And I hope that was helpful to you to kind of see the process. And get a little insight on my workflow and how to start your illustrations and how to plan them. And then assuming that I was happy with any of this, then I could go to the next phase, which would be to color things. Do a 3-part harmony in color, and then work that out. And and then save the fun rendering and all that hard work for later, for later in the process. Because I've kind of solved my big problems of communicating and where the elements are and the values and all that wonderful stuff. It's easy to get caught up in the details and get a little bit lost, Like I could definitely stop working on this eye right now. Boom. Just make it a general impression. Okay, that's good. All right, cool. This gives me some ideas, and I can keep working on it. You know, if I didn't like it, I could always go back to the drawing board and figure it out. Because I haven't done much, but yet I've gone very far. I don't know if that makes sense, but all right, everybody, I'm gonna wrap it up, and remember to join the Discord server. Link is in the description. If you like the content, please give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notifications. Make a comment. That would really help me a lot. And go over to drawjuice.com and sign up for one of the courses if you want to learn portrait drawing. Okay? All right, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for coming to the Draw Juice universe. Okay. Bye for now.